Okay, let's dive right into this. We're going to explore a really strange and compelling mystery. A story about a place where the fundamental rules of the world, the ones we take for granted, seem to be changing. We're heading into a village where reality itself has started to fray at the edges, and absolutely no one is quite sure why. And it all begins with little observations like this one. This isn't some sudden invasion, no big dramatic event. It's something way more unsettling. A slow, inexplicable appearance of strange creatures. And that word, trickled, that's what really sets the stage. It tells you right away that this is something that defies any simple explanation. And really, this is the question at the heart of it all today. What does happen? We're going to piece together clues from eyewitnesses, from village sages, and even from scientists who are all just trying to make sense of this profound and deeply mysterious transformation. So, first things first, let's just gather the evidence. To even begin to understand what's going on here, we have to hear directly from the people who are living through these bizarre events, in their own words. So get this. Here's one resident whose reaction to these mysterious creatures isn't, existential terror. It's just pragmatic annoyance. His path is blocked, and he's not about to risk running into these things. Why? Because he's got plans. He wants to see a movie. It's such a simple human inconvenience right in the face of the vast unknown. Then you have another villager, and she's pointing to a change in the environment itself. It's not just that new things are appearing, it's that familiar things are becoming, corrupted. Something as fundamental, as essential as the water has been disturbed, and that signals a much deeper shift in the natural order. And then, this is where things get really strange. In what is maybe the most startling testimony, the laws of biology have just changed. A dog can now communicate its complex thoughts. And what's wild is that it's just as confused as anyone else, asking itself, why now? Why me? So, when you start to pull all these accounts together, you begin to see a much bigger picture. These changes aren't just isolated incidents, they are pervasive. This isn't just one weird thing happening. No, it's affecting biology, geology, physics, even the social behavior of the villagers. The very fabric of this place is changing. For some people, like this anxious resident, all these small alterations are a terrible forewarning. The new boulders, the fact that falling can suddenly transport you somewhere else, it all breeds this deep uncertainty and a chilling fear for what could possibly come next. But for others, the frustration is a lot more immediate. And this just brilliantly illustrates how even when we're confronted with a cosmic mystery about the nature of reality itself, our very human concerns are still grounded in the everyday. I mean, the greatest tragedy here is a canceled coffee date. Okay, so let's shift gears now. We've heard from the folks on the ground. Let's move to the village elders and see how they're processing all this. See, they're not just looking at this as a new problem. They're looking through the lens of history, of philosophy, and of folklore. So one sage, he suggests this isn't a new phenomenon at all. He connects these creatures to a distant, hazy memory from his own childhood, and he doesn't tie them to fear, but to this profound, almost geological loneliness he felt in the landscape. For him, this is just history repeating itself. Now, in sharp contrast, another sage just dismisses all that philosophical rambling. He believes the answer lies in pure physics. He's convinced there's a fabled book that explains the creature's propulsion system, and if they can just find it, they can simply switch them off. It's a problem to be solved, not something to be pondered. Then you have a third sage who offers a more mystical solution. He's almost joking when he suggests a ritual dance could solve the whole problem. But his idea really highlights the deep tension in the village, right? Are you supposed to search for a rational, scientific explanation, or do you fall back on the old folkloric traditions? So, from folklore, we pivot hard into formal science. The village researchers are on the case, and they are trying their best to formulate a rational hypothesis that can somehow explain the seemingly inexplicable. And just a quick reminder, right? The crucial point here is to remember that what we're about to see are not conclusions. They're not facts. These are educated guesses based on the very limited evidence they have. They are just the starting points in the scientific quest for an answer. And this slide, this just brilliantly illustrates the core scientific debate happening in the village. Are they dealing with an external, physical event that they are just observing? Or, and this is the wild one,
Is this an internal, psychological event that is somehow being projected out onto their shared reality?
So let's break down that physical theory. Scientist number one, he proposes a clear, if, strange meteorological process. It follows a certain natural logic. There's a source up in the clouds, a process of it coming down, and then a result on the ground. It's really an attempt to fit this anomaly into a known scientific framework. But scientist number two, he believes this investigation could lead somewhere much, much deeper. If the changes are psychological in origin, then understanding this phenomenon isn't about meteorology at all. It's about understanding a fundamental, maybe even a broken, part of the human condition itself.
So, where does that leave us? We've got eyewitnesses, we've got philosophers, and we've got scientists. Each group has their own piece of the puzzle, their own perspective, but no single coherent picture of what's happening has emerged. They're all just left living with the uncertainty.
It's kind of amazing when you look at it like this. The exact same events are being filtered through entirely different lenses. For the villagers, it's a practical problem. For the sages, it's a source of meaning. And for the scientists, it's a puzzle to be solved. They're basically creating multiple, competing realities, all within the same small village. Ultimately, these strange events force everyone to confront the very foundation of their existence. They're left questioning the nature of reality itself, wondering what it even means to be real when the rules can so suddenly, so inexplicably, just change. And this leaves us with one final provocative thought. Maybe this story isn't really about strange creatures or impure water. Maybe it's about our response to the things we just can't explain. And what that response, whether it's fear or frustration or just plain curiosity, truly reveals about who we are.